Ever wonder what really goes on behind closed doors? We often assume that what we see on the outside is the whole story. But the truth is, every home, every family, and every individual has layers that remain unseen. The reality is far more complex than we might imagine. Your neighbor seems normal, maybe even happy and carefree, but statistics reveal a hidden reality lurking just beneath the surface. The people we pass every day, the ones we greet with a smile, may be carrying secrets we can't even begin to guess. 73% of people leading double lives report intense, constant stress. That's nearly 3 out of 4. Imagine the weight of living each day with the fear of being found out, the anxiety of keeping your true self hidden from those closest to you. This kind of stress doesn't just fade away, it lingers, affecting every aspect of life. 40% admit to hiding a major secret from loved ones. Life-altering secrets, not just small fibs. These are the kinds of truths that could change relationships forever if they ever came to light. The burden of keeping such secrets can be overwhelming, and it's more common than most people realize. The pressure to keep these secrets is immense, like holding your breath and never exhaling. It's a constant tension, a feeling that at any moment, everything could unravel. For many, this pressure becomes a daily companion, shaping their actions and decisions in ways they may not even recognize. More than half of these secret keepers battle persistent anxiety, always worried about being discovered. The fear of exposure can be paralyzing, making it difficult to relax, to trust, or to truly connect with others. It's a silent struggle that often goes unnoticed by those around them. This isn't a rare phenomenon, it's a hidden struggle happening everywhere. In crowded cities, quiet suburbs, and small towns alike, people are wrestling with secrets that shape their lives in profound ways. It's a universal experience, cutting across age, background, and circumstance. These numbers aren't just statistics, they're real people living with invisible burdens. Each percentage point represents someone you know, someone you care about, or maybe even yourself. The weight of these secrets can be crushing, yet most carry on as if nothing is wrong. Beneath the surface of everyday life, complex stories are unfolding. At the dinner table, in the workplace, or during a casual conversation, there are hidden narratives that influence how people think, feel, and interact. These stories are often filled with fear, hope, regret, and longing. People are juggling different versions of themselves, and the cost is high. The effort to maintain separate identities can lead to exhaustion, confusion, and a sense of isolation. It's a balancing act that few can sustain without consequences. The price is paid not just by the secret keeper, but by everyone around them. Families, friends, and partners often sense that something is wrong, even if they don't know what it is. The ripple effects of secrecy can strain relationships and erode trust over time. As we'll see, the impact of these secrets is deeper than we think. The hidden struggles of those around us shape our communities in ways we rarely acknowledge. Understanding this reality is the first step toward empathy, connection, and perhaps healing. Let's meet Mark. On the surface, he's the kind of person everyone seems to know. A friendly face in the neighborhood, a familiar presence at every school event, and the guy who always has a smile and a wave for passers-by. Mark is in his early 40s, married to his college sweetheart, and together they're raising 2 energetic kids in a comfortable house nestled in the suburbs. Their home is the kind of place where laughter spills out the windows and the yard is always full of life. He's the dad on the sidelines, coaching youth soccer with enthusiasm, the parent who volunteers for every school fundraiser, and the host of legendary backyard barbecues that bring the whole block together. Mark's weekends are a blur of family activities, community events, and friendly gatherings. To everyone around him, Mark is the definition of reliability, a steady, trustworthy family man who always seems to have it all together. He's the neighbor who shovels your driveway without being asked, and the friend who never forgets a birthday or special occasion. Need a hand moving furniture? Mark's there. Need someone to watch your kids in a pinch? He's already volunteered. He's the glue that holds his little corner of the world together, the person everyone counts on. But if you look a little closer, you might notice something different. There's a weariness in his eyes that doesn't quite match his easy smile. His phone is always face down on the table, and sometimes in the middle of a conversation, he seems to drift away, lost in thought. These are the subtle cracks in Mark's carefully polished facade. The small signs that not everything is as perfect as it appears. The stress lines, the moments of distraction, the quiet sighs when he thinks no one is watching. Behind closed doors, Mark is carrying a burden heavier than the demands of work or the challenges of fatherhood. It's a weight that presses on him day and night, a secret struggle that he keeps hidden from even those closest to him. Outwardly, Mark is living the dream, a loving family, a stable job, a beautiful home. But beneath the surface, there's a tension, a sense that something isn't quite right. Even in the happiest moments, there's a flicker of sadness in his eyes, a hint of distance in his smile. Mark is one of the 40% of people who are hiding a major secret from those around them. The pressure of keeping up appearances is mounting, and the stress is beginning to seep into every part of his life. He's leading two lives, one that everyone sees and another that he keeps locked away. The effort to maintain this double existence is exhausting, and it's starting to take a visible toll on his well-being. Mark's story is a reminder that even the most ordinary, picture-perfect lives can hide extraordinary secrets. The people we think we know best may be carrying hidden struggles we can't even imagine. The truth is rarely as simple as it seems. Sometimes the real story is hidden just beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. So, what's Mark's secret? It's a question that lingers in the air, one that even those closest to him would never think to ask. Mark, on the surface, is the picture of stability, a devoted husband, a loving father, and a reliable employee. But beneath that calm exterior there's a hidden world, a life that no one suspects. It's not espionage or crime. There's no cloak and dagger, no secret meetings in shadowy alleys. Mark's secret is far more ordinary, yet just as consuming, a secret that's quietly shaped every decision he's made for years. Years ago, Mark was a passionate day trader, spending long nights glued to his computer, chasing the thrill of the market. He lived for the rush, the possibility of turning a small investment into something big. But then, a devastating loss wiped out his savings and shattered his confidence. The pain was too much to bear, and he promised himself, and his wife Sarah, that he was done for good. He promised Sarah he was done, got a stable job and moved on, or so it seemed. He focused on his family, building a new life, one that was safe and predictable. For a while he convinced himself that was enough. But 3 years ago, the old itch returned. Craving excitement, Mark secretly started trading again. He told himself it was just a hobby, a harmless way to blow off steam after work. But the thrill was addictive, and soon, he was spending more and more time in front of the screen, chasing that elusive high. It began small, but soon he was managing a substantial hidden portfolio. The stakes grew higher, and so did the risks. Mark found himself living a double life, carefully hiding every trade, every win and loss from his family. To keep his secret safe, he created a second identity, Marcus, his online trading persona. Under this alias, he joined forums, shared tips, and built a reputation in the digital world that was completely separate from his real life. At home, Mark was a dependable dad, always present for bedtime stories and weekend soccer games. But as Marcus, he was a risk-taker, living on the edge in a secret world of numbers and adrenaline. He even rented a small office, telling Sarah it was for work overflow. In reality, it was his sanctuary, a place where he could trade without fear of being discovered, where Marcus could exist without boundaries. There, surrounded by glowing monitors and the hum of computers, Mark felt powerful and alive. But the freedom came at a cost. Every moment spent as Marcus was a moment spent lying to his family, and the weight of that deception grew heavier with each passing day. Every win was a secret, every late night a lie. The victories felt hollow, tainted by the knowledge that he couldn't share them with the people he loved most. The thrill was always shadowed by guilt. Mark would catch his own reflection late at night and wonder how long he could keep up the charade. Mark was living as two men, separated by a wall of secrets. Each day, the line between Mark and Marcus blurred a little more, making it harder to know where one ended and the other began. Maintaining that wall was exhausting. The lies piled up, and the fear of being discovered haunted him, even in his happiest moments. The double life was both his escape and his prison, a secret world that gave him purpose, but also threatened to take everything he loved away. Keeping two lives separate is a full-time job, on top of his real one. Mark spent an extra 60 hours a week just managing the lie. Early mornings, secret office trips, clearing browser history, juggling emails and bank accounts. He'd trade before dawn, multitask at work, and use lunch breaks for the market. Evenings meant more lies, late meetings, hours at his secret office. He kept a separate wardrobe, planned every detail, and covered every contingency. The mental energy to switch personas was immense. Mark had burner phones, encrypted apps, and alibis for his alibis. The web of lies was becoming unmanageable. One slip could bring it all crashing down. The effort was monumental and unsustainable. The house of cards was trembling. The most visible casualty of Mark's double life, his absence at home. He missed family dinners 5 nights a week, always with a new excuse. At first, Sarah was understanding, but the empty chair became a symbol of growing distance. His daughter stopped asking when he'd be home, his son waited up, only to find Mark distracted or asleep. The daily connections that make a family were eroding. Sarah became a single parent in all but name, handling everything alone. Conversations with Mark turned brief and logistical, emotional intimacy faded, replaced by polite distance. Mark saw the damage but justified it as a temporary sacrifice for a better future. In trying to provide, he was dismantling his family's foundation. The emotional cost was far greater than any financial gain. The family was paying the price for his secret. The stress of Mark's double life didn't stay in his mind. It attacked his body. He suffered constant headaches, popping painkillers for relief that never lasted. Sleep was rare. His mind raced with market worries and lies. He'd be awake at 3 a.m., checking trades, running on caffeine and adrenaline. Exhaustion and irritability became his norm. Meals were unhealthy, grabbed on the go, and he gained weight. Digestive issues and a general malaise set in. His body was keeping score, warning him to stop. Chronic stress like this leads to real health problems: high blood pressure, heart disease, a weakened immune system. The body can't tell the difference between a real threat and the stress of a secret life. Mark was accelerating his own decline. Mark's mind was under siege, anxiety a constant companion. A simple question from Sarah could trigger panic. He rehearsed stories, anticipated discovery, and became hyper-vigilant. Every interaction was calculated, every word monitored. The emotional isolation was profound. He couldn't share his biggest wins or losses. The gap between him and Sarah grew wider. This mental state is unsustainable. Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance, living with contradictions that erode your sense of self. Mark rationalized his actions, but the mental gymnastics were exhausting. Over time, the anxiety threatened to consume him. Why do people like Mark think they can keep it up? Every successful lie reinforced his illusion of control. Early successes built false confidence. He thought he could outsmart everyone. The secret world felt safer and more predictable than messy family life. In trading, he was in charge. At home, life was unpredictable. The belief that a double life can last is denial, a defense against guilt and fear. People convince themselves they're the exception, that their system is perfect. But the emotional walls are dissolving and the impact seeps into everything. The illusion of control can only last so long. Eventually, reality catches up. Mark's story is a reminder. Secrets are rarely born from malice but from human longing. He thought he was protecting his family, but the secret became a weapon. The real cost isn't just exposure or financial loss, it's the slow death of intimacy. Missed moments, lost connections, and broken trust are the true price. We aren't built for compartmentalization, we crave authenticity. The energy to maintain two selves drains our health and relationships. The fear and anxiety are signs we're living out of alignment. The truth always finds a way out, sometimes slowly, sometimes all at once. When the house of cards falls, the damage is real. The lesson, the most valuable thing we can offer is our whole, undivided self. That's the only foundation that truly lasts.